From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. On tonight's episode, the Be America P.A.C. with Kezia Mayfield. We go to South Africa with Cari Bartholemew. And the Right Mind Studio Band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
Wow, it sounds like there's a real cat fight going on in the Oval Office. I just got this news, literally just seconds ago, that apparently Donald Trump and Elon Musk are having a cat fight. Did that sound good? And apparently now Elon has just said, breaking news, that Trump would not have won if it weren't for him.
Very cool, very cool. Earth is stupid. I'm going to go to Mars, and I'm going to be the president of Mars. I'm Elon. You got to say that when you do an impression. You got to say who you are.
Can you just be him for the rest of the show?
I'm tripping on ketamine right now. It's like a horse tranquilizer. I took ivermectin, and now I'm on Special K.
You're making me giggly.
Occupy Mars.
Okay, we're all done. Anyway, ketamine. That's just, and they're making a big deal about the cocaine that they found that that Joe was apparently snorting or Hunter or whatnot. But meanwhile, as you mentioned earlier off the air, Elon is always like stoned or something in the Oval Office. What is he on, ketamine?
I think he's on the Special K, yeah, and he's rolling on Molly and doing a little shrooms. You do it all together, and it makes a perfect little mixture.
Well, now they're having a cat fight, so I don't know. Maybe they're going to take away his vitamins. I don't know. Cat fights. Cat fights. I thought only girls had cat fights.
These big sexist? CEOs, they're trying to operate on a whole different plane from us, so they take these drugs so they can trip the balls, and then they come up with these crazy ideas, like going to Mars or having satellites that give free internet to Ukraine or... Elon Musk actually sold flamethrowers online.
Get out of here. Flamethrowers like with a real fire?
What he called it not a flamethrower. That's literally the name of it. And he would sell that, but you had to go to Lowe's or Home Depot to buy the propane tank.
Right.
But it was still a flamethrower. And I wonder if that guy in Colorado got inspired by Elon to start setting people on fire. My goodness.
Well, you just mentioned that guy in Colorado, the crazy guy, that it was terrible what he did.
He's an Egyptian, too.
Walk like an Egyptian. Remember that, the Bengals? I'm just free associating. Okay, but that guy, apparently he didn't make a Molotov cocktail right. Is that what you said? He didn't know how to do it or something like that. It is terrible what he did. I'm not making jest in any way. It's horrible. But apparently he did something wrong.
So the entire entertainment industry agreed to show people how to make Molotov cocktails incorrectly in movies and TV this entire time.
Really?
So if you watch, I think Goodfellas, they burned down that bar.
Uh-huh.
If you see, it's just an open bottle with a rag in it that you set on fire and you throw it.
Okay.
Well, when there's an open bottle, all that flame just comes out onto your face. Comes all out all over your face and the side of
I hate when that happens.
your ear and your skin. Did you see the Boulder, Colorado guy? He had no shirt on, and he had a big bandage on his ear.
Oh, that's right.
That's because he threw the Molotov cocktail with an open top and already on fire, and all the fire got over his face. I haven't read the Anarchist Cookbook. I'm not an anarchist. I'm not saying do this, but...
You're a lover, not a hater.
The correct way to do a Molotov cocktail is you keep it sealed, and then you just tape a match to the outside and light it.
Wait. Let's make sure all the kids, if the kids are listening, get them around. Joey's talking about how to make a bomb. Go ahead.
So you tape the thing on the outside that's already on fire with it sealed, and then when you throw the Molotov cocktail and it blows up, then it catches on fire. If you already have a piece of fabric in there that's on fire, you're screwed. It's about to blow up in your face.
Don't want to do that. Okay, kids, I hope you all got that. Speaking of kids...
Delete the CIA
is... the Pee Wee Herman thing on Max or whatever it is.
I watched it too, yeah.
I tell you don't sound like you liked it. And it was like, what? It was like 3 days long to watch it because it just went on and on and on. But, did you watch Pee Wee Herman back in the... whenever he was around?
Of course. I'm 40, as we all know. Very old.
Yeah, you're old. You finished your oatmeal.
Born in 85, so that was Pee Wee mania right then. And of course I love Pee Wee, but the interesting thing about this documentary is they cut it into 2 parts. It's an hour 40 for the first one, hour 40 for the second one. Put them together, that's 3 days, like you said.
Three days.
The first part is so fun, so much of the highs of his life, what I remember about him. The second part, dude's dying of cancer, gets arrested 3 or 4 times, and
not
as much fun.
For stroking it in a movie theater.
We've all done that.
Well, and that's just it. I'm like, he got arrested for that. I do that at the grocery store.
You went to a stroke shack and stroked it? I don't think so, buddy.
It's this is no big deal. This is like getting a meter violation or something like that. I couldn't. It was very sad though, because he did. In the end, he's deed. I mean, it turns out he was doing the whole thing, but he's been deed the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, on a different
just like
note,
Tom Cruise, he died on that movie set, and they're just putting a hologram out there to promote the movie. I think that's what they did with Paul Rubens.
Probably be better. Anyway, hey, I don't want to break away. I don't even know how to bring this up, but our friend that was on last week, Leah Hill. Okay, I don't know if she enjoyed
best meteorologist in the world,
in the entire world, and she was very nice, and we're all going to go thrifting together. But she won, at the Missouri Broadcasters Association. She won best social media person or something.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, what did you say? I'm not going to steal your thunder, because when did she actually win this award?
She won the award the exact same time our show was airing live Saturday last week at 5 o'clock. They gave her the award as she was on our show. I don't know how she did it. She must have been in the bathroom, won the award, and come right back.
Yeah, that's it. And I think we had something to do with it.
Of course that put her over the top. When she came into the studio to be with us, she said this is the first radio show she's ever been on. And then Tony Colombo, who's right next door, one wall over, started crying. He had a little whimper. He's like, what? Leah Hill is actually on Tony Colombo's show once a month over the phone, but that doesn't count.
No, Tony cries a lot, too.
She thought it was a Make-A-Wish. She was like, I got to call Tony Colombo with the cancer and give him a little forecast, cheer the little guy up. No, she was on the radio the whole time. She didn't know it. Came in here to the studio.
It was trickery. Well, on that same note, and it's kind of a different note, but kind of the same.
We're going to win one.
Well, we are going to win one if we would actually get our stuff entered. I mean, I'm not going to go down that road. But next year, we are going to be winners. And you know what? We're going to win as we're doing our show. Okay, maybe simultaneously.
The party is always at Lake of the Ozarks at Margaritaville. So I know Jimmy.
Too.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. That's a damn shame.
Well, he's gone too.
No more cheeseburgers.
He and Pee Wee Herman. Everybody's dying.
But we're just going to crash the party, take the award, and leave.
Do you get this? Speaking about deed and dead, my sister-in-law, who I promised not to bring up, a neighbor in her neighborhood committed suicide, which is kind of sad. Okay, if you don't like to be alive, but also a week later, her mailman committed suicide too. It's like a suicide epidemic. This is like a real happy show. We've gone from Molotov cocktails to suicide. What are the odds of that?
Sounds like a super PAC, a suicide pack.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it's just
Speaking
crazy.
of, our guests are going to be on talking about the Be America PAC. I hope there's no suicide in that.
Bring something up though. I'm going to go back to something I was talking about. This Missouri Broadcasters Award, because I see out here at the station, out in the what do we call this? Our playroom. They have
solarium.
Solarium, 2 awards. They're both for second place. Second place. Okay, now I don't know what they were even for, because as soon as I saw second place, you know what I always say: second place is the first to lose. That's what I always tell the kids when I coach them in little league baseball, football, whatever I'm coaching. Second place is the first to lose. Now, who are the losers here at the station that have these awards that I'm just embarrassed to even look at?
First off, I want to say to the Missouri Broadcasters Association, we want one of your awards more than anything in the world, and we'll do anything to get it.
Yeah.
Now, everything that you do is a scam. People have to pay to be even submitted to the Missouri Broadcasters Association.
Really?
And then you have to pay to go to the party at Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh, I hate
that. So big scam. But I'm so proud of our big voice in the sky, Jim Modglin.
Yeah.
He won for video production. He does a lot of great video production for our station.
For the radio?
Yeah. And he got
video
second
for
place
the
because his videos...
Go ahead.
Yeah, his videos weren't very good on the radio, apparently. But he still got second place.
Well, that's why, because he's doing his video. He may want to do his video on a different platform that actually you can see the video. I mean, I think winning second place for video on a radio station, that is that's impressive as it is. I mean, I don't even know how that would work. I mean, if I said, hey, I'm a video producer for the radio, which you can't see, I think just that the novelty of it should be first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the other award went to Jamie Allman. Just best, I think it was sneaky interview style.
Oh.
Best gotcha questions. but he came in second place.
You know what he
His
did?
gotcha questions weren't good enough.
Did you notice what I said? He comes in here today, okay, and he's always like in a hurry or something, like he's got to pee or something.
He shows up 2 minutes before the show, and he's always in a hurry.
And he just runs in and does the show. And what did I say to him? I go, hey, nice shorts, Jamie. Are those new? And what does he say?
No.
He doesn't say, oh, no, they're not. But, hey, I like your shorts too, Todd. No, he just says no. My only reason for asking him about his shorts so that I could say to him, hey, by the way, I have new shorts, okay? He didn't even respond. It was all about him. So I think he's like an egomaniac because instead of saying, no, these aren't new, Todd, but by the way, you have nice shorts too. And I can say, well, thank you. I got them from a thrift store that Leah Hill recommended last week. But that whole conversation never happened because he was in too big of a hurry, okay? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Hey,
Hold on. That was fishing for compliments.
Yeah,
and guess who's not a fisherman?
No,
Jamie Allman.
Not a fisherman at all.
Probably came in 5th at the big bass tournament, too.
So what did he win second in for, like, what?
It was best
shorts?
investigative journalism, which means I don't know what topic he was covering, but he probably interviewed some people, and they blew the whole story up, They found out who was parking at the St. Charles Convention Center and dressed up as anime furries.
We should have won.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, what is that all about? Anime furries.
They got people dressed up as rabbits pooping in the yards next to the St. Charles Convention Center.
Isn't that the craziest thing? Because they identify. Now, I mean, seriously, if you dress up for something like Halloween, like my son, okay, was like a Power Ranger one year, okay, a blue Power Ranger, okay, but he doesn't go around doing karate chops to people's throats and trying to kill them.
Blue was the gay one.
What, blue was the gay one?
Billy was the gay one. Go on.
The blue Power Ranger was gay?
He was gay.
So my son went on to Halloween. My son was I'm flummoxed. My son was a gay person for Halloween. I never knew that. Well,
wait till you break the news to him.
Yeah, I'm going to say I need you to come out of the closet this weekend for this big birthday bash that we apparently
have.
Like,
I'm with my girlfriend. Like, no, you got to come out of the closet
because you're actually gay. You proved it that one Halloween. Yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to your furries or whatever. Mm-hmm. These people who dress up like rabbits and chipmunks and whatever the heck they are, they don't just take on. They don't wear the outfit. They actually take on. They think they're these things. And they do. They poop on things. I mean, what kind of costume character? You don't see that at Six Flags or Disney World. Pluto. Oh my God, Pluto's pooping in the middle of Mickey's kingdom. I mean, what kind of these? What is this? Explain it to me. Can't you tell how stressed out and flummoxed I am?
Goofy's over there sniffing butts, just trying to get to know the kids. Oh my goodness.
Well, what is at the convention center?
Mm-hmm. You know what? Speaking of gay characters, Grimace from McDonald's, actually gay. I did not know that.
What?
He's actually going around to different radio stations. I saw him over at KMOX. He was hanging out with Dave Glover.
What?
Dave Glover used to be like the king of 97.1 conservative talk.
Right.
He was hanging out with Grimace promoting the Pride Parade that's coming up in St. Louis.
Get out of here.
He's like, just here to promote Pride with my best buddy Grimace. I didn't know Grimace was gay.
Bert and Ernie are apparently gay, but I didn't know about Grimace. Is this going to be the new thing, Muppets coming out that they were gay the entire time?
I don't know. Anheuser-Busch, big St. Louis conglomerate, they are so scared of losing more money because of the Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney thing. Yeah. They pulled out of the Pride Parade, and now Pride has to charge $10 just to get in. I mean, what's going to happen? Everyone's going to get arrested like Pee Wee Herman.
$10 to get into
Pride.
$10
to get into the Pride.
Well, it's a good thing that I wasn't going anyway because I don't have $10 and I wouldn't have spent it on it anyway.
Sounds like a sting operation for prostitution. $10 to get in?
I'm going to pull out. Okay. Well, anyway, it's going to be a good show, and we're going to start it all when we come back. But in the meantime...
the show hasn't started yet.
I know you made me bad. It could go downhill from here. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey B. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, Kezia Mayfield and her Be American P.A.C. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who's so good at droning on, Ukraine has hired him to go annoy Putin, Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is Kezia Mayfield. She's with Be American P.A.C. How are you, Kezia? Can you tell me a little bit about your organization? I looked at it a little bit on the web, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of neat stuff. But tell us exactly what you're all about and, who you are and what you got going.
Absolutely. First off, thank you so much for inviting me to be on today. It's always a great opportunity to get to share who we are and what we do and how we do it. And so thank you, and thank you to your audience for listening. At the American P.A.C, we focus on the 26 swing districts throughout the United States. We do that by trying to fill the gap in those swing districts by focusing in on special interest groups. So we're not usually looking for large numbers. So we're not trying to message to 150,000 voters or 300,000 voters. Our messaging is usually between 3 to 15,000 voters. So we look for people on the ground. Our field organizers go out and they kind of have their ear to the ground in those communities and those congressional districts, wanting to know what's happening in those districts, if it's education, parents' rights, medical, Veterans Affairs. The list can kind of go on because we're looking for handfuls of votes. We might even be in 4 or 5 different areas. And then we start doing targeted messaging, events, texts, calls, and mostly door knocking. So we're face to face with the people that have those issues. And we also bring in a lot of moms and coalitions throughout the country that we'll have them knocking our doors because we're wanting parents and women and moms and dads and other people to be the ones who are standing in front of these voters, potential voters, and talking about these special interests.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's like a grassroots program then. I mean, so you put this together, but you say it's on a smaller scale. I mean, are you looking to expand it? You mentioned you're in swing states. Can you mention a few of those states?
Yeah, we are in New York, Maine, Virginia, New Jersey, Ohio, Florida, Texas, California. We're kind of all over, Nevada, Oregon, Washington State. So we've got different little markers all over. We have them divided into 5 different regions, kind of based on the interests and what the voters' needs are for those types of, for what we're doing, what we do, and the group that we are. So like New York and Maine and New Jersey, especially New Jersey and New York, they're so close together. We like to bring those field operators, with some of the same issues.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so faith and freedom, that seems to be your big issues that you're pushing, which is great. I mean, what's your process for doing that? I mean, when you have, are you approached by, do you go after like candidates and things like that? Or, I mean, what's your whole procedure for putting together a program like this in each individual state?
Well, we actually do not endorse a candidate at all.
Okay.
That is not what we do. We endorse the Republican messaging. And we look for these special interest groups that can lean towards the Republican Party. Like I said, the faith is a big deal, but the parents' rights, medical, all of those things. And then we bring in our personal faith. We like to work with a lot of people that believe in a God, that believe in our nation, and want to see the very best for those things. And so just kind of conserving those conservative roots why we go and approach each one of these groups.
Gotcha. What's some of the, you having any pushback? Have you faced any opposition from anybody on this?
No.
Well, really?
No,
okay. Okay. Even from the media?
Yeah.
I mean, because as far as even doing a grassroots program, I mean, I assume that you're, trying to get your message out and get picked out by, I mean, obviously you're on with us who back you and support you, but are you not getting any, have you gotten any other pushback from any other media outlets or anything? Or are you having any difficulty getting the message out?
So we'll see how that all goes when we really start working very efficiently in 2026. I'm sure we'll get a lot of pushback because anytime you have a PAC or a super PAC going in and working in these swing districts and they're trying to shore up the vote by going after typical, maybe a little bit centered or left-leaning voters or people that weren't voting that they assume they had, we're definitely going to get some pushback. But as of right now, no. But in 2026 and as we move forward, it definitely is. And we're doing a really big party tonight, and we've gotten so many media requests and people trying to come, and we're having to tell them kind of over and over, no, you can't come. Because we want to make sure that we are being the most efficient with our messaging and who we are without having a lot of the full media pushback like you're talking about.
Gotcha. Are you a relatively new PAC?
we are a new PAC, but this isn't new for who I am and what we've been doing.
Okay.
I've been working in the political spectrum for a long time. I was actually in the nonprofit world as a director before I came in, and about 12 years ago, I moved into politics. Because of my work in nonprofit, I realized that our laws and our legislation and our policies that we were wanting to have in our nonprofit world, we needed to do on a national level. So I started getting more interested in that, writing policy, writing different types of legislation and helping in those areas. And then I moved into campaigns in 2020 and got more and more involved. And then 22, I actually ran for office myself. I didn't win, but then I went and worked immediately on another person's campaign, and we worked in very special interest groups areas, and we knocked doors in Black and brown neighborhoods. We were in the projects. We were talking to just everyday voters, getting to know them. I think we knocked somewhere close to 40,000 doors over the last 4 years personally.
Yeah. What are some of the, I guess, I don't know if challenges is the right word, but I mean, there's such this progressive left-wing narrative that's been thrust down people's throats for so long. What is the biggest challenge? I mean, even from a grassroots standpoint that you face and I hate to use the word brainwashed, but some people I know are basically brainwashed. How do you go about doing that? Did you have any methods of trying to overcome their objections or trying to persuade them that your way is the best?
I did a lot of persuasive arguments before in the past, and I've learned that sitting and having an argument with someone or trying to convince them isn't necessarily the best way of doing it. Instead, it's we need to listen when people talk to us, because if you will take a few minutes and talk to a voter and you tell them who you are, you're either knocking doors or you're a politician or you're a part of this organization, they'll start telling you what's wrong with our country or what's wrong with their district or their city. And if you can grab those things that they are the most discouraged about, if it's their children's education, if it's the small business issues and the property taxes or any of those types of things, because you're an active listener, you can pull those things and then you can find mutuality in what you say next. That brings them back to Republican messaging, and they will usually leave the conversation. Very rarely do they not. And they're like, that makes sense, or you've given me some things to think about. But it does take experience and the ability and training of listening and engaging with the voter instead of trying to push on them. Instead, hear them out, let them know that we're a party that listens and we want to be there for them.
You sound like you're younger. I mean, and so I don't know your exact age, but I think if you are younger, which I assume, I mean, that's refreshing to see that there's a whole new generation of people like yourself that are coming up through the ranks. Now, is that true? I mean, is your organization made up of primarily younger people?
Well, I'm not that young. I'm 39.
That's young. Come on. Yeah, I'm 94.
I'm young, but I'm not in my 20s. So I have children who actually have a son who's an engineer major at Texas Tech, and I have a daughter who's pre-med. So I'm kind of in that middle gap. I'm that older millennial, and there's a lot of us who are in that 40s, 30s, 40s, and even up to 60 and even 20-year-olds. And so we're kind of a very blended group of people and organizations where we're still kind of fun enough that the college kids want to hang with us, but we're old enough and mature enough and we've lived through some things already and built businesses and lives and, achieved some things that we're able to be with our seniors and be able to communicate with that and take from their wisdom too. So we're that middle of the road. And I do feel like my generation is beginning to step up and take lead and take some even responsibility for where our nation has been. And they see the failings in the past, and somebody has to do it. And it's our time to start thinking about that, because now we're securing America for our children and our grandchildren. And that starts right here.
Well, if people want to get involved with your organization, I mean, your website is bpac.com. It's BEAPAC.com. Is there any other way? I mean, you said you're spreading to other states. I mean, is there other, if you are not involved in one particular state, is there something that somebody can do to reach out to you to get involved?
Absolutely. You can do that on the website. You can also email us at info@beapac.com. We would love to talk to you about how to get involved. We have people from different states that are not living in those swing districts, but they understand how crucial it is for us to maintain the majority in 2026. So they're already getting involved with donating, with volunteering, traveling to door knock. We have two big, large elections here in the U.S. this year, in Virginia and in New Jersey. We're going to be active in both of those. We would love to have volunteers and getting people to knock doors, make phone calls, however to help and donate. And then next year, it is very, very busy year, because if we worked so hard last year to make sure that Donald Trump was in office in 2026, and we don't do the same, or in 2024, and if we don't do the same in 2026, everything that we've worked for is gone.
Mm-hmm. No.
On election day, and we just cannot do that.
No, I totally agree. And, on a final note, I always compare it to like the old airplane analogy. I mean, you worked hard to get the plane in the air, the jets are up to get you there, but just because you finally reached altitude, you can't turn the jets off, otherwise you're going to crash. You got to keep that going to make sure you're successful for the long term. And it sounds like you're doing that, and I encourage people to reach out and get in touch and see how they can help. So I appreciate you being on the show. I hope you'll come back another time and tell us more, but I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Thank you, Kezia. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was an interesting talk. It's nice. I thought she was younger, but she sounded younger, and it is nice to see the younger generation get on board, because when there's people like you and me, you, of course, not so much me, but after eating your oatmeal and everything like that, I mean, that you can just, go off to the pasture and live your life knowing that there's a younger generation that are going to pick up the slack. Is that what you were thinking during that entire conversation, or were you thinking about doing your Elon Musk imitation again? Just one more time. Come on, just do it one more time.
It's very nice that she's got a few months left before she becomes old. She's 39.
39.
40 is when it all goes downhill.
That's just, I was talking to somebody about that, because a lot of people, they say they're all in this thing, 40 is the new 30 or whatever, or 80 is the new 10 or whatever they say. Now, I was talking to somebody, because you just turned 40. I'm not going to beat this horse to death like last week, but you actually, as opposed to being 40 the new 20, you are like 40 is the new 70. Isn't that true?
That is correct. And,
right.
In my old age, it's really hard to be a part of a pack like hers.
Right.
Because it's a lot of door knocking.
You can't do that.
And I already did all the door knocking earlier when I had to tell people that I was on that list where I offend people.
Right.
And so my knuckles are, they're bleeding, basically. What's great about radio, though, I think there's a loophole with this big offender list. If you can get a job on the radio, you don't have to knock on all those doors. You just tell people the one time, hey, I offended some people, I'm on a list. And then you don't have to go knock on the doors. And that's the secret of radio. 90% of the people that work in radio, sex offenders.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I did know that, but I just
great people, though. Once you get to know them,
we were supposed to bring that up. I think that, you're true. The sex offender part is a big part, and I think that is kind of like
you pee on one dumpster at Mardi Gras, and you're on a list.
Well, not only that, just like we're talking about Pee Wee Herman. Just the fact that you like to touch yourself in public. What? If you see a dog licking himself, like in somebody's front yard, do you arrest the dog?
It was barely public. No. The theater, your eyes are supposed to be forward at the screen.
At the screen.
If you look to the left or your right, that's on you, Vice Squad police officer. Give him a sex offender list sign-up sheet.
Isn't that like being a peeping Tom when you're peeping on somebody?
They had night vision goggles watching me. Who had the most technology to look at whom?
All wrong. I think it's all wrong. I'm still just really
it was a good movie, though.
It was a good movie. The thing, I enjoyed it. I didn't notice him doing that at all. I'm still hung up on this winning a video award for radio, but I'm going to think about that during the break.
We're going to Mars.
This is Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, who's also Elon. This is The Right Mind Show. We will be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, our friend Cari Bartholemew. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a cartoonist who could never be replaced by AI because he's never drawn anything intelligent, Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, Joe Avey. And on the line now, one of our all-time favorites. Do we have any all-time favorite music, Joey? Hey, is Mitch in the back there doing that? We're going to make sure you have all-time favorite music playing, Cari. It's Cari Bartholemew. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, thank you.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's always a good start to the show. I know you're great, but you're also a little hot about something. You're a little peeved at South Africa. What's this all about?
Oh, yeah. So I found out that South Africa started changing its ways in 2008. When did America start changing its ways that we started to realize?
Oh, yes. We had Barry Brock come in here in 2008. It sounds like there are some parallels here. Is that where you're going?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think people need to look at South Africa and take a look at all of its hateful and divisive rhetoric and where it started. And one of the things I found out this week, or actually last week, was that a farmer, or that our farmers under Biden, actually under Obama, I guess, that they started a thing where they were saying that if you're a white farmer, you could not have loans forgiven. And doesn't that sound a whole lot like what was going on in South Africa?
That sounds very similar. I mean, and again, we go back on some other topics and things like that about this whole globalism issue, and I think there are a core group of people that are involved in that, including who you're referring to. And I think, so you think this is more widespread and it's all part of a bigger agenda?
Well, 100%. They had something called the Rainbow Coalition, where they were fixing the problems of apartheid. And I've been talking to a lot of people from South Africa who are like, look, apartheid was horrible, and also it was better than what we've got now. Mm-hmm. And so, and there were different things about it because they were doing separate, but they at least were guided by something that said that there needed to be equality in the separateness. Whereas what they've got today is a culture based on revenge, based on revenge for things they did not experience. And even the Africans themselves, the Black Africans, they are not, it's only like 100 people who are benefiting from what's going on in South Africa, from the policies. And if you are colored, that's their word, not mine, but if you're colored, there is such thing as a ceiling, right? And if you're white, there's literally no hope for you. Like, people are telling their own children, if you have an opportunity to get out because there is no hope for you. I'm not even talking about the violence. I'm not even talking about the massacres. I'm talking about the impossibility to have a business without putting one of these loyalists in.
Well, and they're killing white farmers over there. I mean, that was the big thing. I mean, the whole sit down with President Trump, with their president over there, one of the presidents. I don't know how that all works. Really, I gotta But he was. I mean, he like blindsided him. He said, and the guy says, no, that doesn't happen. And then President Trump puts up a video showing, they're killing the white farmers. I mean, so it's not.
Well, they're killing all sorts of farmers, right? But yes, white is the Boer, is the Dutch white farmer who's been there for 400 years,
right?
Who bought and traded their land. So it's not a matter of, a lot of liberals will say this is just about land, and people deserve their land back. In fact, that's how I got involved. I joined a group called Braver Angels, and I just joined in on the conversation, and I listened to the condescending way that they were talking about people being murdered, and they just were kind of like, well, they deserve it. If they don't like it, they can go back where they come from. They don't need to go to America. They should go back where they come from. 400 years? If you said that to a black or brown person, go back where you've come from, oh my gosh, riots in the streets.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you brought up, again, we're going back to the 2008 thing. I mean, a lot of this, you're right, a lot of it stems, and I've said it before and I'll say it a million times, I think that was a pivotal point when you really saw the country become more divided. I mean, that was the beginning. I mean, that wasn't where we became more divided. And up until then, I mean, nobody cared if your next door neighbor was a Democrat or Republican or whatever, if you're black or white, anything. But that whole momentum started with it, and there was definitely an agenda there to do that because it goes right back. I mean, it's not like they're brain scientist here or whatever. This is the Marxist handbook. I mean, this is Karl Marx.
Right.
If we can divide people, then we can control them. And everything that they were doing during that time was falling, piece by piece, right by the playbook. And even to this day, you have the media that's complacent in it that helps along to keep everyone divided. I mean, we have like Rich Rubino on to talk about politics. I mean, none of us can we've never seen a time like this. And it's only worse. I have a neighbor that lives across the street from me that says, and she knows that I had a Trump sign. I don't know if it was direct or not, but MAGA, we don't need Nazis and kings. I mean, and I'm thinking, would this have happened in the early 2000s? I mean,
let's go back to. Can we go back to how Nazis behave?
Yeah.
And then look at how our students are behaving. They had a sit-in, or I don't know if they've had it or if they're planning to have it in Seattle at University of Washington, where they're having a sit-in saying why it's okay to be anti-Semitic and why violence towards Jews is acceptable in quote-unquote times of war. So don't tell me your Nazi rhetoric when you're justifying violence towards certain people.
I know, yeah, and it's projection too, because I mean, it goes back to so many things with these far left crazy people, liberal. I don't care. In my opinion, they're crazy because they're brainwashed. But I mean, for my cartoons, for the show, for all kinds of stuff, they're constantly calling me a Nazi. I'm like, but then they're doing like Nazi. Right. They're acting like Nazis, but then they're calling me.
Because they haven't been educated.
No,
they've been miseducated intentionally.
Exactly.
That's the big issue.
Exactly.
That's where I'm like, South Africa needs to be a warning, because they took these people who were being educated. They had an amazing infrastructure. They were moving. They were upwardly mobile, and they took everything from these people, black, colored, and white, and they started diminishing their education on purpose and teaching them hatred on purpose, and having these rallies where they're saying kill the Boer and slit the throat and all of these things that they're doing to these kids. And I mean kids. So they're standing out there, thousands, like 50,000 people filling a stadium, screaming and chanting. And I really don't see a difference between when dictators have said clap for me, and the first person to stop clapping for me, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same kind of energy that they're putting on these kids while telling them they're a hero. And I think what we need to realize is that what they're telling these kids isn't just that Trump is Hitler. They're saying we are.
Oh, sure.
They're saying we are Nazis, and it's justified to destroy this Nazi thing when it's like, wait a second, I'm a Nazi because I want my own little acre of land that I can have my own garden on, and I don't think the government gets to make a decision on that. I'm a Nazi because I don't want the money that I can barely pay for my own glasses or my own health care to go to people who've come here illegally. That makes me a Nazi. No, you're a globalist. You're a globalist communist who uses words to project. And the problem is that they're teaching our kids that their way is the right way.
I'm going to bring it full circle because, again, we've talked about this. I mean, but you brought the starting point, 2008. Like I said, I've got liberal friends, Democrat friends. I have homosexual friends. I have Jewish friends. Everybody, and it was no big deal. I mean, it just seems like this whole parade started. Pardon that pun. I mean, that back in 2008, where we were slowly being conditioned that now we all have to be divisive. Now we can't be friends.
Yes.
And I just want to, I hate you. You can't say you can't live in the past, but I got to tell you, I wish we could go back to like the early 2000s when you didn't care.
We can, though.
I know.
We can.
I know. That's where I was going, and I think way and it's easy enough to do. When you have to wake up. It's a matter of waking up the people that have been conditioned. And I don't know what that wake-up call is going to be, but that's what it is. It's obviously people like yourself that are out there doing their best and pushing it. And we're all out here, so please wake up. It's like you got a brainwashed world. But I don't know. I mean, and that's just I keep searching for what that's going to be as far as the wake up.
Alternatives. offer alternatives. If you've got a good yard, invite your neighbors over for a barbecue and say, this is politically free. This is a politically neutral ground. Just come over for a barbecue. Come over and let's have like a watermelon eating contest. Let's let the kids play beanbag races, or potato sack races. Let's go back to what worked. Let's go back to what worked. And as you begin to have those places that are refreshing, one of the things we've been doing is having our meetings over Zoom, just so that people can go, oh my gosh. And the women who start crying over simple things because they're like, oh, I have a tribe. There are people who want and desire the same things that I do. And they're not crazy things. It's just, we want normalcy again.
Sure.
And they've said, this is the new normal. Well, I'm sorry, but this new normal is crap.
Right. It's
bad. And if you look at South Africa, just to come full circle, look at South Africa. People are starving. They're about to go out of, they're financially bankrupt. Their infrastructure, they have potholes in the roads. They're not able, a lot of people are not able to think. The literacy rate is lower. All of these things are happening under the name of progress. And when you ask them how much further do they need to go, for one, they're telling the South Africans who left, come back and face your punishment. And then they're telling people, we need 30 more years of this.
No,
30 more, the country can't survive it, and neither can we.
No, and it's got to stop. And again, it takes people with spine and some ability to just get out there with the bravery and courage to not be a wimp and just to say, yeah, I mean, we've had enough of this. And I find it ironic that progressive, it's actually regressive. And so to me, it's always like, we're progressive. No, you're not. You're regressing and you're making things worse. Right. So you're not progressing anything. So I mean, it's what we've got to do a wake up call for some people, and we got to do it until it's done, because I know it gets tiring at times, and you know as well as I do, you take a lot of pushback and you're called a lot of names and things like that, but big deal. I mean, the big fight's what it's worth. Yep. So, well, you know what I always say, thank you, Cari, for fighting the good fight, and boy, you get me hot and steamed every time we talk, but but I love it. Yeah. I love it. So can we talk again soon?
I'd love to, yes.
All right. You're the best.
Out. So, yes, thank you so much.
You got
Have a great day.
Okay, thank you very much, Cari. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Boy, she gets me, really, I tell you what, it gets me up there and going. It's like when you get Peter Ticken on, and I get my blood pressure up and my redness comes through my bronzer, and you can tell I'm a little steamed. I mean, but I'm just going to, chill down a little bit here. How's that? Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, you're having a big birthday bash this weekend, so I recommend you have a watermelon eating contest with your mom in the wheelchair, because she's got no teeth. She can gum it real good.
No, she has teeth. Now, she was this is a thing. It's more of a branding thing. I don't know how this works. She was at a thing called skilled care. I think nursing is like 1800s or something.
It bums out the patients when you call them patients.
So no, this was skilled care. She's home from that, but I've got some relatives. I'm not going to mention what side, that because like I said, we're all together and stuff. Like, let's just listen to the show. I mean, that makes everybody happy. And there are some people that say, I've never, even family members, I've never heard your show. You have a show? I never. Yeah, and well, we don't know how to do it. And I said, it's on this thing called a radio that Marconi came out with in the late 1800s. So it's been around for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, I listened to The Shadow on that. Oh, he's a great superhero.
Apparently they don't know what a radio is. And I say, that thing in your car, that's not your air conditioning, that's a radio. And so if the people that don't know how to listen to the show, I'm going to introduce them, maybe if things get boring, to what a radio is. And I'm going to say, this is how it works. You turn the knob, and this is, and I'm just going to say, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, that's actually you on the radio. And I'm going to say, yeah, it is. And you can do this every week with Joey and I, because this is what we do.
All right, Grandpa, time for the sack race. Oh, he's taking his pants off.
You can't say that. You knew my mom was in a wheelchair, and you said sack race. That's just being cruel, my friend. Do it as Elon Musk if you're going to be mean.
I looked up some Elon Musk quotes so that I wouldn't be doing any disparaging remarks off the top of my head. So this is an actual quote.
Oh, wait. Let me sit back. I'm ready.
With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. Ah, very cool, very cool.
Now, you do know, I don't know if you want me, I'm not bursting your bubble because you're great.
My butt what?
Bubble. No, I'm not wiping your butt. Now, according to you, Elon is Hans and Franz. Okay, you remember Hans and I am Hans, you're Franz. Oh, we are girly men. You remember those guys?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great. I love it. Now but I don't know if they were actually that region. Okay, I tell you what, we're gonna make it better. We're gonna finish the show with you being Elon as Hans and Franz, and I'm gonna be Sean Connery.
I'm sure the guests and the audience would love that when they listen back to this episode and share with their family.
Oh, with the family that don't know what a radio is, even though it's been around since the 1890s, which is like over a decade. See, I'm now hot and bothered again now. Anyway.
I made a lot of my money and my family off of apartheid. Apartheid is very good business.
So
very
you
cool.
want to be a soccer player, Mr. Elon.
We need some more lithium ion from the mines, some blood diamond mines.
I don't know, but by the time this airs, I mean, there may be hair pulling and everything going on. The huge cat fight going on with Donald Trump and Elon, President Trump. Yes,
Make sure you get some lawn darts for this big birthday bash. The old-timey ones with the spikes that stab you in the head when they get a little out of control.
Weren't those the best? I mean,
they're banned now.
You can't do anything fun anymore. That's what we used to play lawn darts in the dark, okay? Because it was always fun, like during the day, there it is.
Where's it going to come down?
And it's like what we would do, we'd spin around and get real dizzy. This is at nighttime after the sun went down, and we'd flip the lawn darts up into the air, and we'd like, where is it? Where is it? And that's where my cousin Troy, that's how he's blind in his right eye now, okay? But it was so much fun, and you're not allowed to do that anymore. Cari Bartholemew wants to bring back a lot of the things from the past. I think lawn darts should be our quest. Let's bring that back and, so you lose an eye. Isn't a laugh worth it?
It is worth it.
I think so, too. Yeah. We had a good time today.
Had a wonderful time.
Okay, I did, too.
Which part of this show is going to be submitted for the Missouri Broadcasters Association?
Probably the video part, because apparently that's what wins. I mean, apparently if you have video on the radio, you're a winner, even if it's second place, which is first to lose.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the Pee Wee Herman talk about rubbing one out in the theater could go on our sizzle reel, as they say.
Sizzle, because that's kind of hot.
Diddle reel, we'll call it that.
Yeah. I'm going to go rub something out at the grocery store. So you want to join me?
Yeah, of course, because you're buying Scratchers tickets for the big birthday bash.
Well, that's just it.
There's 10 people having a birthday. Everyone has to get a gift.
No,
you get a Scratchers.
It's more than that. It's more than that. I told you, we had these birthday bashes, apparently, but they're in June and August. Okay, so depending on which side of that hemisphere your birthday falls on, you're part of this. So it's like Christmas, But I'm like, we already have Christmas. You're all getting a Scratcher ticket, and it's not going to be a new one. It's one that was a loser, because if it had been worth something, I would have already spent it, okay? So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that. So anybody listening to the show, even though you're not, because you don't know what a radio is, you're getting a used Scratcher ticket.
Yeah. Happy birthday, everyone.
Birthday. Okay. All right. Well, you did have a good time, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Best time.
That's great. Well, you know what I always say, don't you?
What do you say? It's like a catchphrase or something.
You don't have a right mind. You don't have a mind at all. Until next time, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. right here at 1019 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.